Hey everybody, welcome to another Cowcatcher video. I'm going to start sharing my screen so we can get right into what we're doing today. So I'm calling this Born to Influence an e-learning course creation tip video. I'm giving you lots of tips today, and I'm Jody Randisi. I'm your education architect. If you are struggling with the idea of collecting and then capturing your thoughts on paper so that others can benefit from your expertise, knowledge, and experience, whether or not it's a book you have in mind or have been dreaming about, just the thought of compiling and composing information could leave you feeling blocked. Learning how to use a software program to its fullest extent, such as Microsoft Word, that can be intimidating. It's much easier to procrastinate than it is to learn a new software program, am I right? As the Cowcatcher, it's my calling to remove obstacles when it comes to communicating, writing, and publishing. And who better to do that than a coach who can motivate and instruct you through the process. That's right. First drafts don't have to be perfect. They just have to be written. And that is the first obstacle facing all of us. Being able to extract ideas out of your head so that you can rework them later can be a problem. Perfection is the first enemy to show up. And in order to silence that part of you, let's just call that the antagonist. The antagonist will show up and want to judge or evaluate your work. If he or she shows up, you're going to need a partner. And let's call that person the protagonist. Your partner is going to help you win that battle. Sadly, the days of writing a manuscript by hand, long gone. I sure do admire those prolific writers of the past who were able to think on paper with immediate clarity. While they went through lots of paper, they were forced to think properly. But nowadays, we use computers and software, and that allows us to make a multitude of mistakes. I mean, just hit backspace or delete, cut and paste. We might as well go ahead and admit that if this obstacle is not going to go away, we must overcome it. Now, there are two programs writers use to capture their thoughts commonly. I'm using one of them right now. It's called Word. I'm reading the script so I can make this video for you. But I also use Scrivener, which may or may not be familiar to you. So I'm going to let you watch a short video to give you an overview of what this mighty writing software program is all about.
Typewriter, ring binder, scrapbook. Scrivener combines all the writing tools you need to craft your first draft. And you can take your writing with you wherever you go by syncing between your Mac, Windows, and iOS devices. Writing a long document involves much more than just getting words onto the page. Scrivener is tailor-made for creating lengthy manuscripts, banishing page fright by allowing you to compose your text in any order, in sections as large or small as you like. Got a great idea but don't know where it fits? Write when inspiration strikes and find its place later, growing your manuscript organically, idea by idea. With Scrivener, you can switch between your text and an overview in no time. Add a synopsis to your chapter or section, then zoom out and view just the synopsis to work with an outline of your manuscript. Want to change the order of things? In Scrivener, turning Chapter 2 into Chapter 4 is as simple as drag and drop. Scrivener's flexibility means that you can hammer out a first draft and restructure afterwards, or plan everything first by creating a synopsis and filling in the text later. Need to refer to research? In Scrivener, your background material is always at hand. Write a description based on a photograph, reference an audio file, or check your notes. Scrivener allows you to keep everything you need in one place, organized however you like. Once you're ready to share your work with the world, simply compile everything into a single document for printing, self-publishing, or exporting to other popular applications. With Scrivener, the page is yours. So get writing.
So nothing better than a short video with visuals to clarify what was once a mystery. Am I right? So now I think it's appropriate to compare the two programs by looking at their features. You can see that the word processing is the same. You can organize your text how you are used to doing that, grammar, spell check, all the same. And you'll see the check marks will pile up on Scrivener where they fall short in Word. For example, if you're going to format your work as an ebook in Mobi or EPUB, done for you in Scrivener with one click. You can do project management all in one place. In other words, if you're using Evernote or those other productivity apps, you don't have to when you're writing in Scrivener. It's all done in one place for you. It automatically saves your work, and that's nice. There's other things that I like about Scrivener. The templates for writers, if you're writing a screenplay, for example, or a research paper, academic paper, all of those templates are there. Word has a few. There should really be a check mark up there, but it's more expansive in Scrivener, let's say it that way. It really is designed, as you saw in the short video, designed for long writing content. You can write something, think about it, put it aside, add some research material, and know it's right there in one place. You don't have to go looking all over your computer for what you thought was a great idea. Also, there's that easy way to break up. You saw that. You break up your information into chunks that make sense so that you can easily rearrange and mesh later. I like the fact that you can split the screen. On the left, I would have my writing. On the right, I would have my research, and things become clearer and easier to compose. And I love the corkboard feature in Scrivener. It looks like a corkboard, and it has index cards, and you're able to manipulate them so that it makes sense to you. So as you can see, you're probably wondering, what does it cost? So here it goes. I use Word, and I pay $69.99 per year for one computer to have access to Microsoft 365, which is their platform that gives me access to the newest versions of Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. But I pay it every year. Scrivener is mine forever for my one-time fee as a Mac user for $45. Now, as you just saw, Scrivener has a bunch of components to it, all of which will be new to a user. But thankfully, the creator knew this would be an obstacle, perhaps intimidating, which it was for me, I'll admit it. But the creator has blessed our new users, his new users, with a multitude of tutorial videos like the one we just saw to help us overcome anxiety about using this wonderful program. As you saw, there's a lot to it, but users like myself, we found all our answers, ready answers, in Scrivener's tutorials, some of which are given to you as a PDF. But if you're like me, I prefer the visuals. But let's take a look at what I'm talking about.
Hello, I'm Keith Blount, the creator of Scrivener. In this video, I'm going to show you how easy it is to use Scrivener for your writing and how it's useful for working on long documents. First, let's fire up Scrivener and create a new project. To create a new project, go to File, New Project. You'll see I'm presented with a window that allows me to choose from different project templates. There are templates for novels, scripts, academic writing, and more. Here, I'm going to choose blank, which will create an empty project without any template information. Now I choose where to save my project. It's up to you where you keep your Scrivener projects, so be sure to pick somewhere you'll remember. Once that's done, Scrivener's main project window appears, and I'm ready to start writing. On the left here, there's a list showing all the documents in the project. We call this the binder because it acts like a ring binder. You throw into it everything you need to get your writing done, not just the writing itself, but also research, notes, and anything else you want to refer to. I can go ahead and start writing in the editor. You can format your text however you want using the familiar tools in the format bar above the editor or by using the menus or keyboard shortcuts. If you prefer writing on virtual pages, you can switch to page view. I like working with page view turned off though. One of the key ideas behind Scrivener is that it's easier to work on a long text if you break it down into smaller, more manageable chunks. It's entirely up to you how large or small those chunks are. You could divide your work up into chapters, scenes, paragraphs, arguments, or anything else. Here, I've written one short section, and I now want to create another. To do so, I click on the Add button, and I get another blank document beneath whatever was selected in the binder. I can add a title, and now I'm ready to start typing out my new section. Actually, you know what? I've realized that this section would work better as two separate sections. That's easy to fix. I just put my cursor where I want to split it, and go to Documents, Split, at Selection. Not only that, I've also realized that the section I split off would be more effective if it came first. That's easy to fix too. I just drag and drop it into place in the binder. Talking of the binder, let's take a quick look at it. Note that every Scrivener project contains 3 folders that are always there. You can add as many folders as you want, and we'll get to that in a moment, but these folders are special. The draft folder is the most important. This is where you create your actual manuscript or text. All the different sections in this folder can be printed or exported as a single long document. We'll see how soon. Supporting material that's not part of the manuscript, you can place in the research folder. You can put pretty much anything in here, PDF files, images, notes, anything you need to reference while working on your project. In fact, I have a couple of files that I know I'm going to need to refer to later, so I think I'll bring those in now. Over in the Finder, I have a PDF file containing some information about a town I'll be writing about, and a photo of one of a town's landmarks. I'll just drag those into my research folder like so. The trash folder stores any documents that you have deleted from a project. They stay there until you delete them permanently by choosing to empty the trash. Incidentally, you can rename any of these 3 folders, and the draft folder is titled Manuscript in some of the project templates. You can always recognize them from their special icons though. To move between the sections of my project, all I need to do is select the section in the binder to open it in the editor. If I want to block out the rest of my screen while I write, I can click on the Full Screen Composition button. Once I've finished, I just hit Escape to return to the main window. Okay, I've written a few sections now. My initial plan was that each of these sections would be a single short chapter, but I've changed my mind. I now think that for this book, it would be better to have several sections in each chapter. For this, I'm going to arrange them into folders. To create a new folder, I just click on the Add Folder button. The new folder will be created below whatever is selected in the binder. I'll give it a name and drag it where I want. Now I'm going to drag some sections inside it. I'll do the same for my other sections. You can structure your writing however you want, even nesting folders inside folders. I'm happy with the way this is organized though. Breaking things down into small sections is a great way of working on a long document. But what if you want to work on a complete chapter, or even the whole manuscript, to get a feel for how it flows? In Scrivener, this is easy, and we call it Scrivenings mode. All I need to do is click on the draft folder in the binder, and then change the editor to Scrivenings mode, which is this icon in the toolbar. Now the editor shows me all the sections in my manuscript as though they were part of a single text. I can show titles using View, Text Editing, Show Titles in Scrivenings. I can type and edit my sections here just as I can when viewing them individually. Clicking on a folder shows the sections inside that folder. Wait, I've just realized that there are some details I need to check, but I don't have time right now. For this, I think I'll set up a little area in my project where I can make notes to myself. I'll create a new folder and place it above the research folder. I'll name it To Do. Using Documents, Change Icon, I'll give it a custom icon too, so it's easy to pick out. And now I'll add my note to it. Great, now I can return to my writing, happy that I won't forget to check these details later. I now need to refer to some of that research I imported earlier. This is simple. I just click this button in the header bar to split the editor in two. Holding down Option or Alt when I click switches between a vertical and horizontal split. To load my research, I just click into the editor in which I want to show it, and then I click on the research document in the binder. Alternatively, I can just drag the research onto the header bar of the editor I want to load it in. I can also load different text sections in the other editor, so I can refer to other parts of my project as I write. To close the split, I click on the button in the header again. I've now reached a point in my project where I've realized it would help to plan it out a little more. For this, I'm going to use Scrivener's structural tools. First, I've got an idea for a section that I need to write later, but I don't know exactly where it fits yet. For this, I'm going to create a new document in the draft, but for now, I'm going to leave the text blank. Instead, I'm going to open the inspector by pressing on this blue disk icon. And in the index card at the top here, I'm going to write a short summary of what this section is going to be about. That way, I'll know what I need to write later. I can use the notes area beneath the index card to jot down anything else I need to remember when I come to write this section. I think I'll put this into an unplaced sections folder for now. Every document in a Scrivener project has a synopsis index card like this associated with it. Synopses can be used to work with a higher level overview of your manuscript. To see what I mean, let's look at some of the sections in the first folder now that the inspector is open. I haven't added a synopsis for any of these sections because I wrote them without any planning. If I want, I can always add a synopsis after writing a section though. I don't have to do this, but it makes it easier to get an overview. For example, let's add a synopsis to this section. Now, if I select the folder containing these sections and click on the corkboard icon in the toolbar, the editor switches to corkboard mode. In corkboard mode, you can see the index cards that are associated with the sections inside the folder. So on this index card, you can see the synopsis I just typed out. I haven't added any synopses for other sections in this folder, so the index cards for those just show the first lines of the text. The corkboard gives me a great overview of everything that's in this folder. In this case, it shows me a summary of my chapter. I can edit the synopses by double-clicking into the cards, and I can rearrange the sections by dragging them around on the corkboard. Looking at this overview, I've realized that I need to add another section to fill in some details. I can do this right in the corkboard by clicking the Add button. This creates an index card that represents a new blank document inside the folder. I'll add a synopsis of what I intend to be in this section, which I'll write later. When I'm ready to write it, all I need to do is click on the section in the binder, and I can see from the index card in the inspector what I need to write. The corkboard is one great way of working with an overview of your manuscript. Scrivener's outliner is another. If I click on the first folder again, and this time click on the outliner icon in the toolbar, the editor switches to outliner mode. Like the corkboard, the outliner shows me titles and synopses of the sections in my project. I can view a lot more information in the outliner though. Or I can keep it simple. If I click on the draft folder, I now have an overview of my entire manuscript. I can edit titles and synopses, create stubs for new sections I need to write later, create new folders, and reorganize until I'm happy that my manuscript has the most effective structure and reading order. Whether you use these features to plan out your whole manuscript before you begin to write, or as editing tools later in the process, is entirely up to you. Well, I've been working on this book for a while now. It's time I shared it with someone. For this, I use the compile feature. This will take everything I've written in the draft folder and stitch it together into a single exported file or printout. I can create all sorts of files, including Word documents and ebooks, but right now I'm just going to send it to a friend as a PDF file so she can give me some feedback. I choose how I want the manuscript to look using these options on the left. For sharing with my friend, I'm going to choose the modern format. Now I just tell Scrivener how the parts of my manuscript should look. I want groups to be shown as chapter titles and text sections to appear with breaks between them. In your own projects, you might have all sorts of different groups and text sections which all need formatting differently. That's easily done, but we won't get into that here. Now I just compile, and I have a nicely formatted PDF file ready to share with my friend. And that's really everything you need to know to make effective use of Scrivener. I hope that this video has given you a good idea of how you can use Scrivener with your own projects and that you're ready to get writing. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so we all know now video tutorials will be your best friend in this process. And video tutorials just like this are waiting for you in my 90-day Born to Influence coaching experience. If you're one of the people that wants to learn how to convert your on-site lessons or books into highly engaging e-learning experiences. Removing anxiety about this technology is what a cow catcher does. That's my job, and that's my commitment. I make sure that you, my learners, learn according to your preferred learning style, first of all. And then I walk you through the process until the tools you've chosen to use, whether it's Word, PowerPoint, Scrivener, or Pages, however you choose to compile your content in order to get your expertise, knowledge, and experience out of your head and into the world. I walk you through it until those tools become completely comfortable. I will be right there by your side. Imagine what you can do once the learning curve is defeated. The world is waiting for you to show up with your teaching gift, but if technology has been holding you back, if you'd rather slay that dragon than let it stay on the line, then I highly recommend letting an expert coach alleviate that stress for you. I'm Jody Randisi, Education Architect, and I'm that expert coach, and I look forward to working with those of you who know you were born to influence. Now, I know some of you are not interested in being camera ready. You don't have to be on camera to teach or share your experiences and your expertise like I'm doing now. In fact, that's one of the tips that I'll share in another video about how to stay off screen and use PowerPoint and embed videos so that you don't have to put on makeup or find a good background in Zoom or whatever program you're using to record. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.